Our goal is to be the #1 podcast in the world. Our goal is to inspire people to find their purpose. We're going to have a state-of-the-art Bliss Seekers compound. It's going to be the studio. It's going to be a full gym. It's going to be a kitchen with a chef. You know, we're going to have like a great outdoor space. Maybe it'll be close to nature, like the best equipment. Like we're going to be worldwide. All right, welcome back to another episode. Well, today is just going to be our Bliss Seekers. We have Joe and Hatem, so introduce yourself.
You
Joe.
already know it's Joe. That's JHO. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, this is Hatem. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, so welcome. Today we're just going to have a conversation with your Bliss Seekers. You guys will get to know us a little bit more, and you know, we're just going to talk about some things going on in the world and in life, and yeah, so enjoy the show. So yeah, let's get right into it. I know a lot of things are going on right now, guys.
Yep.
We have a president, right? Whether you like him or not, he recently got
The Roro.
The Roro.
We cannot say.
row your boat, right? You got the Roni Rona, right? Yeah. So yeah, he got sick, and you know, it seems like he's doing better now.
He looks healthier, man.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of weird because like whenever I don't know, like we're gonna talk about like conspiracy theories and how do you think or whatever, but when he would be speaking on his Instagram or his videos, it kind of felt like he was out of breath. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I don't even watch him, so
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys will have to show me
Well, there you go.
later.
She doesn't know. I don't know. Did you?
Well, I heard about it, but I don't watch the videos.
Yeah, actually, I have him on Snapchat. So
Yeah.
I watch his.
You follow him
videos.
on Snapchat?
He's on Snapchat.
Yeah, he is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everything he does, I think he just uploaded to Snapchat.
Yeah.
And because I don't use Snapchat a lot. I have only few people on Snapchat.
Yeah.
So he's one of them. And yeah, he said he is sick. So like it's normal, like to like.
Yeah.
He cannot breathe well.
Yeah, and then
Right.
you know this virus attacks the lungs.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he's sick. Maybe he's not. Of course, we never wish anything bad on anybody, especially
true.
the president. But we're gonna talk a little bit about a couple sides of it, right? But I don't know. From what I saw, is from what how he normally speaks, it seemed like he was more out of breath. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could always be an act. It could always be like, you know.
He just did cardio before.
Yeah.
What if
No,
he
I don't-
smoked a lot of cigarettes?
I don't
on
think
the
he did
down
any
low?
cardio. It doesn't look like he's done cardio in a long time, right? It was funny. I was watching the Trevor Noah show. I don't know if you guys know who Trevor Noah is, right?
Yeah, I know.
The Daily Show.
Yes.
Mm.
I love Trevor Noah. He's hilarious, right? He said that the Roni Rona's Tinder profile is like, I'm looking for a 74-year-old male who doesn't eat vegetables. And bam, there you go, right? Just kidding. Anyways, not really. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of crazy. Like, you know, obviously 2020 has been a unique year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of interesting, crazy, I don't know, conspiracy, that the timing of it all. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he just had a debate with Biden, and obviously that was a mess for both parties, right? And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, bam! You know what I mean? What do you guys think about that?
It was like a couple days. It's just like one day after the debate.
Was it? It was like one day? It was pretty quick, right?
Yeah, he was like making fun about Biden, like wearing the biggest mask, you know?
Yeah.
And second day he said, I got the virus.
Yeah.
And to be honest, my first reaction when I heard like he said he got the virus, I was, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that
Yeah,
one. Like,
no way.
because it just seemed like too quick, like too weird. Like, and then I heard that on Twitter, it wasn't like the national press that released it. You would think it'd be top secret, like
Exactly.
only like the major press would get it.
Yeah.
But it was like an NBA reporter who reported it first, like literally like right as Trump was posting it on Twitter. An NBA reporter posted it. So anyways, what do you guys think out there? Leave it in the comments. Is it real? Did he get sick? Is it a conspiracy? Because let's talk about that real quick. Like, we're not taking sides here, but we just like to bring up, like, different ideas. And like, so let's look at the other side. Like, if he did it on purpose, right? How could that help right now? Well, number one, it could delay the election possibly. Could have gave him an excuse, but then maybe that's not true because he's supposedly healthy already, right? Like,
Yeah.
they say it usually takes people to be in quarantine for 14 days. And this guy's already out there with no mask, like walking around saying, I feel great. Like, I got all this medicine. I heard it's kind of like a plot to boost the pharma drugs, like to get everybody to want to take vaccines and stuff. Because, or like the drugs that we have, because like, look at me, I got sick, I'm 70 something, I don't eat vegetables, and I'm healthy 2 days later, I'm back to work, I'm this.
Did they mention what kind of medicine, what kind of drugs he used?
He went to, I believe it was Walter Reed, which is like the #1 military hospital in the United States. It's basically the hospital of hospitals, right? He did not mention what he took, but at least I don't know. I haven't seen it because I don't really watch too much of it. But supposedly he took this cocktail of like amazing drugs that you can only get there, and he's like fine after like 2 days.
He was saying like that's available for everyone, and like he was saying like don't be scared from the virus. We got like the best medicine out there.
Yeah.
And if you get sick and you go to the hospital, like you're okay. And
yeah, that's a little fishy to me. But either way, we have a very, very important election coming up, regardless of what side you're on. Like, we're not taking sides here. We're just trying to talk about each end. And if he did get sick, right? So then let's talk about what if he did get sick? Like, is that kind of like karma? Is it like, because he was like the one that was like, oh, I'm not wearing masks. They don't work. Da 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 da. Let's say he did actually really get sick. So what's your thoughts on that?
He attracted it. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
You attract it, so.
That's true. That's a good point.
His energy.
Everyone was saying that's karma. Like, this guy was talking about like not wearing a mask, and like it seems like he didn't care about social distancing, because like he have like huge conference with a lot of supporters around him. Yeah. And everyone like saying, why you have also the supporters? Like, you should be like just small room, like limited people, around you. So if he gets sick, maybe that one of the reasons. But
yeah, he had just recently had something at the White House where it was all like his staff and all the people that help him out, and like I think like 17 to 20 of those people were diagnosed with the Rona. So it's not just him; it was him, his wife, his like daughter, her husband, like almost most of the people that were there.
I mean, someone got him the virus.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be one of the surrounding, one of his guys working around him. So
the other side of the coin is he got it, and now he's supposedly healthy, right? But they were also saying that it was kind of irresponsible of him to, like, a couple days after he got sick, he basically took the Secret Service and wanted to go out and greet his fans or his followers or whatever. And that was kind of like crazy because he's still pretty much highly contagious.
That word.
I don't know why I forgot the word contagious.
I was going to say infectious.
Infectious, contagious, right? So anyways, well, that was something very unique. What do you think about it? Do you think it was true? Do you think he really got sick? Do you think he's still sick? Do you think he's just kind of playing it off to look like strong? Do you think that the medications that he was given at Walter Reed fixed them? Or do you think it's just some like conspiracy theory to throw like a wrench in the elections or promote like so that everyone will take the drugs that they're going to be selling, to help his big pharma friends?
Just one thing like I was thinking about, like if the president have this like disease, like they are saying like it's dangerous disease, like the president of the United States has it, why they didn't keep to the secret? Like this is like really should be like top secret, like not like announced to everyone, like the president might die any second.
Yeah.
So, like I don't know, I was wondering about that.
Well, it seems really calculated, and like Also, the fact that he got better, he felt better after 2 days. Like most healthy people don't get better until like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, that's
You know?
true. Yeah,
So,
I had a friend
it's
who got it,
unreal.
and she was 26, and she took her 10 days, basically. I mean, she was only sick for like maybe 4 days, but she had to be quarantined for like at least 10 days, you know? And, you know, POTUS was like, oh, I got these super meds, and I feel great, and I don't know. It's just a little irresponsible, I think, regardless of which side you're on. But yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, 2020 is definitely this is definitely a unique POTUS that we have, right? And really, I think it's more because he's not a politician. The first time in the history of the United States that a non-politician got the presidency. He's a businessman, right? He's a businessman. He's a reality TV star. He's a real estate mogul. He's a lifelong, you know, Hollywood, you know, he's a personality, right? So, of course you got to expect something different because it's like, you know, like Hatem, your job requires certifications. It requires an education. It requires at least 2 years of experience. That would be like me. No experience, no degree, no clue what you do. All of a sudden I got your job. And I'm like, yeah, those boats look great. Let's do it, right? And the next, you know, the building freaking collapses, right? It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So, you know, I think people need to just kind of realize that we don't really have a politician in office. We have a businessman. We have a celebrity. We have a, I don't know. It's just different, right? So he's not going to act like a politician. That's why he's all about Twitter and social media and, you know, because he's a former reality TV star, right? Did you guys ever watch the show, or do you remember the show? Or are you guys too young for the show?
I heard about it, but I've never watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
I watched him in WWF.
Oh, WWE?
He was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he doing there?
He like, they got him in there for like a play fight or whatever. He like fought
Play
with them.
fight? What?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember if he lost or won, but I remember he got slammed or something.
Yeah, he was talking shit with someone. I don't remember exactly, but like I saw him in that one, and also I think Home Alone. He was like in that movie.
No way. It's one of my favorite childhood movies.
Was he in Home Alone? I don't think so.
Yeah, like I don't remember what's the name of the movie. Like it was inside the hotel. Like someone was asking for direction.
Oh,
and
maybe it was like the one of the 2 or 3 or whatever.
Might be the
Maybe they
third.
were at Trump Tower or something.
yeah.
Oh.
I will search that. Like he was like someone was walking inside his hotel and asked for direction, and
Yeah,
he
you-
asked
you might be right.
Trump about the direction.
I
It
think
was
you're-
just like 2 seconds. But
think
he
that was
just
Home-
wanted to
yeah.
be there.
I think it was Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where, anyways, yeah, it could have been true. So, you know, it's funny. The show The Apprentice. Like, I remember I wanted to be on that show. Like,
What's the show about?
so it was like a reality show where you got a bunch of like ambitious, driven people, and you had to compete, kind of like Survivor, to become Trump's apprentice. Like he would teach you all about business and real estate. Like you get connected, basically, you know, and you know, at the time when Trump was just a mogul and a celebrity, right? Like I kind of like, I thought it was cool. Like I was excited because I was always like ambitious, you know, and I'm like, wow, imagine being mentored by a super wealthy, powerful celebrity mogul, you know? So I remember that commercial that I talked about in the previous podcast. And if you guys haven't heard about that, it's either episode 1 or episode 2. I just go back. I believe it's episode 1. I talk about a commercial I created in college.
Yeah.
Anyways, I recorded over that VHS tape because this is how long ago it was. I think it was 2008. No, not 2008 because I was already divorced by then. I think it was 2005 or 2004. And I recorded over my commercial to do a audition tape for The Apprentice.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember it because I lived in LA at the time, and me and my ex-wife, I was married at the time, and we stood in line for 8 hours.
Whoa.
So imagine there must have been 1,000 people there, right? All trying to, get an audition. So we stood in line for 8 hours, and then after 8 hours, I get to this round table full of a bunch of people, and I had 15 seconds to give like a line. Like, I don't even remember what they asked me. They said like, tell us why you should be on the show or something like that. And I don't even remember what I said because I was tired from waiting for so long. And then long story short, I didn't get the audition, right? But it was a pretty popular show for many years, right? And yeah, so
That's a good thing, actually. Otherwise, you will not be doing the podcast
You
here.
will not be
like,
doing
Yeah.
the Bliss
you will not be.
Seekers.
I might be on the staff or something.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the White House.
I might be part of some crazy administration. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, there's an election coming up.
Mhm.
You guys are all gonna vote, right?
You know, it's actually my first time voting.
That's right.
I just got my U.S. citizenship.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
bam.
A few weeks ago.
So
I've lived here like most of my life, but I had to get my own.
That's
Apply
crazy.
for my own. So,
How long has it been that you lived here?
20 years.
20 years.
I've been here since I was 10 years old.
And finally got your
Mhm.
U.S. citizenship.
Yep. I was
So
just lagging, Anyone out there who's thinking about it, just go get it like ASAP. Apply for it.
And it's pretty cool that actually the first time you actually get to vote is probably the most important election
Exactly.
in your USA lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
We're not a political podcast, so we're not going to talk about who's going to vote for what or whatever. So let's just stay bipartisan here. But that's exciting.
Yeah.
Are you excited to vote?
I am. I don't know who to vote for yet, but I'll do.
It's okay.
I'll do
We'll
my
figure it out
research.
later.
Yeah.
And it's not just the president. It's like a bunch of propositions and all that kind of stuff. So you definitely have to educate yourself.
Yeah.
There's that one about self-employed people. So get rid of that law, the H-1B or something. Anyways, they're trying to get rid of independent contractors in California. I think it's Prop 22, I believe. So vote. I think it's yes on that because I'm self-employed. Like basically what it means is like if you're a rideshare driver, if you're like a DoorDash driver, if you're a insurance licensed agent like I used to be, any type of self-employed business, real estate, they're not going to allow you to be self-employed. You're going to have to become an employee basically. They're trying to get rid of that, right? They voted for it, but the financial services industry, they're very powerful, so they worked their way around it. But it really affected rideshare drivers, like Uber and Lyft. So basically, Uber and Lyft were about to leave California. They're about to just be like, boom, and we would have no Uber and no Lyft in California anymore.
No.
Yeah, because it was going to cost Uber and Lyft too much money to give benefits and all that stuff to their employees.
Oh, okay. So the driver's gonna be an employee to Uber or Lyft.
Yeah, you can't be an independent contractor. You can't make your own schedule anymore. They'll give you benefits and they'll give you hours, but it's not flexible. You don't work for yourself. Like you're now part of a W-2, and you're paying like higher taxes. And I think it was ridiculous. Like pretty much like. I mean, I'm born and raised in California. I lived here my whole entire life, except for maybe 1 year I lived in Florida. But pretty much 41 out of the 42 years I've been alive, almost 43. So let's just say 42 out of I'll be 43 next month. And California's just, man, they're just messing up. Like, I mean, to be honest, like they're driving. First of all, it's real expensive in the Bay Area now. People are just leaving. Like there's a mass exodus out of California. Taxes are crazy high. And now they're trying to get rid of people to be able to be self-employed. Like, it's crazy, And that was just a way for California to get tax money. Because if you're a W-2 now, they could tax you higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Instead of I-9, right?
Yeah, instead of W-9. So on a W-9, you're self-employed, so you get all the money first, and then you pay your taxes later after you write everything off, right? So you pay a lot less in taxes. Well, as a W-2, you're in tax brackets now. Hatem probably knows about that, right?
So mainly like they deduct the tax before they give you the money. Like every 2 weeks they give their tax already, like 30%, 35%.
Yeah.
And you cannot like write off anything. Like you're an employee.
Yeah. So like, I always say, I mean, it's funny. I had a joke. I say, what W-2 stands for, right? It stands for withdraw half. because before you get your money, they already take half of it out, right? In taxes and the 401k and your benefits. And that's another thing. The funny thing is most people like a job because of benefits, right? Well, if you think about it, you're paying for your benefits. It's just coming out of your paycheck. They're not free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe there's one company that offers it for free, but most companies, you're not getting your benefits for free, people. They're taking it out of your paycheck. So like, you know, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. I've been 1099 since 2006, right? So that's 14 years now. So I don't even remember W-2. I don't think I'll ever be on a W-2 anymore because, I mean, you just get killed in taxes, especially if you're like me, divorced, no kids. Like I'm a prime candidate for them taking all my money, right? But the way it works on a W-2 is they take the taxes out before you get paid. The way it works on a 1099, you get paid and then you pay your taxes after. And then you get deductions and write-offs and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, it's a very important election. Congratulations, Joe. Your first election. You get, for the first time in your life, you get one of those little I voted stickers, right?
I don't want it.
You don't want it? What about you, Hatem? Are you able to vote yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to be watching.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be interesting, though. It's a fun show, right? So you've seen basically two presidents, right? Since you've been here 2010?
Yes.
So you were here with Obama, and then you're here with Trump.
Yeah, actually, mainly like I was surprised, like the way how it was like when they elected Trump.
Yeah.
Like, cause before the election, like, you know, like you have two group like kind of fighting, you know, over who's gonna be the president. And I thought once they elected like Trump, like all Americans just gonna be like go around him and like work together, support him, work together. And then like what I saw last 4 years, like it's still like two groups fighting, like and like there was no like unity. Like I was surprised that. So because I'm from Syria and like we only have one president
for like 20 years.
Yes, and before him was his father for 40 years.
So the last 60 years has been one family controlling.
Controlling. So it was my first time seeing like two parties, you know, and like election and that. So, and I was like, yeah, this is what was my reaction. Like, I thought after the election, everyone gonna be like together and united, you know, and working for like one goal, you know, like helping, you know, the Americans.
Yeah.
But when I saw like all the fighting, even though like okay, like Trump win, like just
just accept it.
Accept it, yeah, and work with him. This is what I thought it's gonna be. So I'm kind of worried about the next election. Like, if Trump win again, it's gonna be like so much stuff going on. Yeah. Even if Biden like win, it's like too intense. I don't know. This is how I feel.
Yeah, the country's more divided than it's ever been, to be honest, and a lot of it has to do with Trump. You know, I don't know if you guys saw the debate. They asked him to condemn racists and white supremacists, and he wouldn't, you know. I was actually watching a special on Vice today, and they were talking about the Proud Boys, right? That's what they call it. Basically a new white supremacist group, I guess you could say, but they're called the Proud Boys. They're not called the KKK or something like that, but it's pretty close. And it's in Portland, and they were like protesting, and they had guns, and like it was pretty crazy, right? But anyways, like I said, we're not choosing sides here, but the fact of the matter is that the country is more divided than it's ever been, at least in my lifetime, right? Like I went through Reagan, I went through the first Bush, then I went through Clinton, then I went through second Bush, little Bush, Bush Jr., and then I went through Obama and now Trump, right? So even with the first two Bushes, right, who are very Republican, the country was still kind of united, like you said. You know, like Reagan was a former actor too. I think, you know, Reagan was the last president that was kind of like Trump, a celebrity, right? He wasn't really a politician. He was an actor. But he was actually a pretty decent president, you know. I mean, every president has their good and bad. And then I lived through Clinton, and you know, economically, I believe Clinton was the best president for this country, because when Clinton was in office, we had a surplus, which means we had no national debt. So this is in the 90s. Our country had no debt. We actually had extra money. So we didn't owe China everything. We didn't owe a lot of countries. We weren't in debt. We had savings, right? You know, I come from the financial industry, and we're all about saving, right? Not debt. And then after Clinton came the rest of the mess that happened, which is, you know, W. And we went from no debt to trillions. So I think we went from no debt to like a couple trillion, like 2 or something like that, which is a big jump from 0 to trillions, right?
Yeah.
But now we're like almost like $27 trillion in debt. So in 30 years, we went from a surplus, and all the millennials are like, they don't remember any of this kind of stuff.
Of course I don't. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm learning right now.
The millennials are like, what? You know, and the Z's like, huh? You know, the Z's are like, Bernie. We went from a surplus. This country used to be good financially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we used to have savings. We didn't owe anybody anything. We were respected around the world. That's another thing, by the way. Before the second Bush Jr., before obviously the Iraq War and 9/11 and all that kind of stuff, I traveled to Europe, and Americans were cool. Like, if you just traveled to Europe, I can't speak for any other countries because I didn't go to anywhere else, but I would go to Europe and I'd say I'm American, and all of a sudden it was like I was cool. Like, everyone was like, wow, like, you know, especially the ladies, which was a plus, right? You know what I mean? That's an easy way to pick up. I'm American, you know? And then I went back after Bush. So I flew to Sweden because my ex-wife is from Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
I met her in 2002, right? Which basically was 1 year after 9/11. And I flew to Sweden to visit my friend, and we met her. We fell in love, all that kind of stuff, right? So I went back to Sweden in 2003, or the end of 2002, and I flew to Sweden the day Bush declared war against Iraq. The day he declared war, I was flying all the way across the world to Sweden. Mm-hmm. Now, I've never been the type of person that lets circumstance affect me, right? Like, I'm not going to live in fear, you know? Obviously it was kind of freaky though, because every airport was empty, right? I was like pretty much like the only one traveling, it felt like, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I wasn't really scared for my life or anything, but the first time in my life, I actually felt ashamed to be American. And I actually really felt like bad for, you know, just everything that was going on. 'Cause I saw it from the world's view. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't see it from the United States where the media would pump it up and make us look good, you know? But yeah, it's probably one of the most unique, life-changing and mind-altering experiences I've ever had. That was pretty nuts, right? But yeah, so I've been through that, and then, you know, obviously after Bush Jr., then we have Obama, which I think was an amazing president, right? And people, whatever, agree or disagree, but he was a true leader, right? A uniter. Like, he ran on hope. That was his thing, like hope.
He's compassionate.
Mm-hmm. Leader, intelligent, eloquent, right? And it's funny. I think it was Chris Rock. He's one of my favorite comedians. He goes, Bish. He said, Bush messed up so bad, he made it hard for a white man to run for president, right? He's like, he messed up so bad, he made it hard for a white man to run for president, right? So, like, it's crazy. Like, the country was just sick of it. Like, they just wanted change, mm-hmm. right? And I think that's one of the main reasons that Obama won was he was different. He brought hope. He brought change, and that's how he won. And then now, I've lived through Trump, right? And you know, like I said, we're not political, but let's just say that, you know, I agree with Republicans on some things. I agree with Democrats on some things, but I don't agree with dividing the country. I don't agree with racism, and I don't agree with destroying the planet mm-hmm. to get yourself richer. You know what I mean? And that's what I see that's going on, is the administration that's in power now does not care about climate change. They don't care about uniting the country. They care about there's a certain agenda. And it's not about Republican, because I'm a business person. Like, I've been an entrepreneur. As a business person, entrepreneur, you should be a Republican, to be honest, because it's all about taxes. That's why wealthy people love Republicans, because they lower taxes, right? And you know, the middle class and poorer people, they like Democrats because they raise taxes on, but then they, you know, there's more social help. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, like, you know, I agree with the Republicans on some things and the Democrats on some things, but I don't agree with what's going on now, because I don't believe you should destroy the planet to get richer, you know, and I see that's what's going on right now. But anyways, we might be getting a little too political, but I'm just saying, like, it's pretty interesting what I've seen in my 43 years of life. Like, I've seen, how many presidents? Reagan. That was probably even Carter when I was a baby, you know, Jimmy Carter. Who was Jimmy Carter before Reagan? I don't know. You guys don't know. I'm asking you guys.
No.
You guys both immigrants from different countries. You're like, huh? Carter?
I wasn't even alive.
Yeah. Wow. I'm aging myself, but hey, I look young, right, guys? Yeah. So I've seen maybe the beginning of Carter, Reagan, the first Bush, and then that was Desert Storm War, another war in the Middle East, right? And then Clinton, who made everybody peaceful and made the country like good financially, and then second Bush, who another just rich kid who didn't know how to basically run anything. And but actually Bush Jr. looks like a great president compared to what's going on right now. You know what I mean? And then I saw Obama and now Trump. So
just talking about the debate, like. So when someone watched the debate from other countries, like they were like, one of those going to be the president, you know, the way they were acting.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering why, like, there's no like other options, you know, in the United States. Why only these two options?
That's a good question. So the way it works is, well, the United States has been dominated by two parties for forever, right? There's the Democrats and the Republicans. So the way it works is you have a bunch of candidates on each side, right? Yeah. And they all battle it out. And then eventually each party picks the one that's going to represent them, right? So that's how it works, right? So, you know, the Democrats had Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris and all these people, right? And then it whittled down to they chose Biden, right? And then obviously the Republicans had a couple people, but they sticking with Trump because he's the current president, right?
So they choose, like, is like a voting, like, for the public, or is just between them? Like,
just between the parties,
between
not the people. The people vote at the end,
Right.
Okay,
but it's the parties that pick the person, right?
to present them.
Yeah, to present them. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So like, let's say we're all part of one party. I'm not gonna say which one, and we're all battling out. We do our little debates, and then at the end, we all go, you know what? I think Joe would be the best. Is our best chance of winning. So we're gonna pick Joe because Joe has to beat the other person, and she gives us the best chance of winning. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because in the end, whether you're Republican or whether you're Democrat, they all lie just to get into office. They say they're going to do all the stuff and they don't do it anyways, right? They just do whatever they need to do for their agenda, right? So yeah, I mean, we have a very important election coming up, you know, and it's crazy too because we're in the middle of a pandemic. So there's not going to, I don't know if they're going to do polls, like where people go to vote in person, because that's going to be just a mess, you know? How do you protect people? Like, what are you going to social distance? Like, so there's going to be a lot of mail-in voters. And then that's what they're saying, that the current administration was trying to screw with the post office. Because guess what? How do you mess with the election? Well, if most people are going to mail by vote and the vote can't get in because they shut down a lot of stuff or they mess with the post office has no money to operate, right? Well, that's a perfect way to, you know, try to mess around with the election. So I don't know. It's a pretty important election. Regardless of what side you're on, you need to get out there and vote, you know, because, you know,
Educate yourself.
Educate
first,
yourself, right? Yeah.
Like what I'm gonna do.
And
So-
don't just vote because you believe in something. Like that's the dumbest thing to do. Actually educate yourself and vote because it's going to benefit you, right? But here's the thing. And I always tell people this, like California is a Democratic state. What does that mean? It's always going to be Democrat. So there's something called the Electoral College.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, Hatem, but every state counts as a certain number of points, right? So like last election, Hillary won the popular vote.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which means she had more votes than Trump. But Trump won the Electoral College, which means he won the points system. So, for example, like California, let's say it counts as 40 points. But Minnesota counts as 30 points. Florida counts as 30 points. So when you add those up, that's who wins the election. So what happens is California doesn't determine the election. Florida usually is all Republicans. So Florida usually goes to Republicans. California goes to Democrats. It's Ohio. It's Michigan. It's Wisconsin. It's all these middle states that are kind of on the fence that actually determine the vote. I'm not saying that your vote doesn't matter in California, but California always, I mean, since I've been alive, it's been a Democratic state. What does that mean? It's going to be majority Democrat. Like no matter what, this will be a Democrat. So the votes will go to the Democrats, right? The points will go to the Democrats. Now, if the Democrats ever lost California, that would be a huge blow because it's always been Democratic, right? So really, this election is going to be won in Ohio, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in those states that are kind of on the fence, right? Like those are the ones that went for Trump this time, when usually some of them were Democratic, right? So that's why Hillary lost, because she won most of the votes. If it would have just been on the total amount of votes, Hillary won. But it's not how it works. It's a pretty messed up system, I think. Like it's a pretty broken system. But yeah, so I've always say that, you know, California's always been a Democratic state. So regardless of what you vote in California, it's probably 99.9% going to go to the Democrats, right? But we really have to, whichever party you are, it's those swing states, they call them, the ones that can swing back and forth. Those are the ones that really are important in this election. And Trump took those last time, right? Because he promised that he was going to give them jobs, and he's for the working man, and he's for America. He didn't do any of that stuff, right? But you know, he got the vote last time. So anyways, it's a very important election. Go out and vote. I think it's November 3rd, right?
That's your birthday?
That's one day after my birthday, right? So go out and vote November 3rd. And regardless of who you're voting for, just vote, and let's see what happens, you know. It's going to be very interesting, that's for sure. I mean, there's talk about it's going to be a circus. They're going to delay it. They're going to make all... Like, they're saying that we're not even going to really know who won for like a month later.
Why is that?
Because they're going to mess with everything. They're going to say, oh, these votes didn't count, or we didn't receive the votes. Like, I hope this is not correct, because usually we find out who won that day, right?
I think because like you're gonna be voting by mail, like it's gonna take longer, like to just go to count, and some of the vote like get late, or I don't know how it works, but
yeah, and that's why they're messing with the post office. The post office almost went out of money. So if the post office doesn't have money to operate, that's going to delay the votes even more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it should be like there's a budget, you know, for the...
There is.
For the, election, you know.
But the administration cut it because of the pandemic. They were running out of money. So it should have been in the stimulus package. Like in the stimulus, they're supposed to give the post office money so that they can survive, right? Because of what's been going on. Because they've still been working.
Yep. But
the money's, it's not, the economy's like not the same, right? So the big issue, and I don't know a lot about it. So I probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but I heard that they didn't want to give the post office money, and that would have affected all the mail-in votes. I think they finally gave them money, like they finally did, but it's already done some damage, right? It's already kind of messed up. So Anyways, go out and vote November 3rd, whichever party you're for. Your vote counts. You know, it's important. And we'll see what happens. All I know is that, you know, the country's in a pretty bad situation right now. It's pretty fake because we have all the stimulus and all this kind of stuff, but we're in a mess, right? And hopefully whoever is elected ends up trying to do good and fix whatever's there, right? Because the way it's going now, it's just going to get worse. Anyways, take a deep breath. By the way, guys, out there, yeah, that's how you when the energy gets a little stale or a little kind of tense, that's how you make it more positive. All right, so let's talk about being a tourist in your own state, because that's one of the things that the Bliss Seekers are all about. We are going to, obviously we have a YouTube channel that has a podcast, but one of the things we're going to do is we're going to start like a show, like a travel, you know, we're going to have a lot of travel vlogs about being a tourist in your own state. Because right now, obviously travel is it's a little difficult. You know, it's funny because obviously Hatem, you have a Syrian passport. And, you know, that's one of the not the best passports for travel because you can't really get into a lot of countries. Well, guess what? It's now better than an American passport. Our passport now sucks because nobody wants to let Americans into their country because we're like the highest rate of COVID infections. That they say our passport now ranks with like Syria and all these other countries that are like, you know, can't go nowhere. So if you're an American, that passport used to be pretty cool because you can go a lot of places. Now you can't go anywhere. So we decided to pivot, right? And we're going to start traveling our own state. Because it's true. I grew up in California my whole life. I probably haven't seen 90% of what California.
Same here.
Yes, same there. So, and probably you out there listening, whatever state you're in, I guarantee you haven't thought of being a tourist in your state. You're not like, hey, let's go tour my own city, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like human nature. I don't know what it is, but people don't explore their own city. You know, they always want to leave and go out of their city or out of their state. Mm-hmm. So we want to show people how to be a tourist in your own state. Right. And by the way, that's patent, so don't try to steal it from us. And we're going to do vlogs. And we found a beautiful, beautiful place, literally like 25 minutes from where I live here in Campbell, California. You guys live in the San Francisco area, so it's probably like about an hour and a half. But it's called the Fern River Resort in Felton, California. Right. And it's like a beautiful, like, because see, I like nature, but I'm not really a roughing it guy. Mm-hmm. Like, I like more glamping than camping, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, instead of staying in a tent, I stay in a cabin, you know, because the cabin has a kitchen, it has a bed, it has TV, it has...
No bugs.
No bugs, right? Like, yeah, so I'm not going to get, like, bugs crawling around and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
In your shorts?
In my shorts, right? Well, these shorts, shoot. Anyways, I'm not wearing shorts. We're a podcast. I'm wearing fully clothed, right? I don't have no pants on, guys. Ha ha. Just kidding, right?
Wearing slippers.
I'm wearing slippers. Hey, but that's the beauty of a podcast. It's all waist up, right? Just kidding. It's like Zoom. So anyways, I found this beautiful place called the Fern River Resort Motel in Felton, California, which is between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz, right? Beautiful place. Like, you can rent cabins. They have studio cabins all the way up to a cabin that holds like 6 people. There's like a beautiful river that you can walk down to about 2 minutes from the cabin. It's right next to Henry Cowell State Park, which is the Redwoods. So you can go on a bunch of hikes. There's the Garden of Eden, which is like another river that you can swim in, which is about 10 minutes away.
10 minutes away walking or driving?
Driving.
Okay.
Maybe not 10 minutes. Maybe like 5-minute drive. You drive up to the Ox Trail. It's another trail that's a little bit outside of the state park. But you just walk down and go down these train tracks. And it's pretty cool because these train tracks are like hundreds of years old, like 100 years old.
No way. Okay.
Like, they're the ones where people used to travel to California, like those ancient train tracks, right? And so there's probably so much history on those train tracks. And then you walk down and you find this little thing and you can go and swim in the river, and it's really like a hidden gem, you know. And I talked to the owner, and I told her that we have a YouTube channel and a podcast, and I said we want to do a video of this. I mean, I lived here I lived in the Bay Area for 42 years, and this is the first time I learned about it.
Did you tell her I'm a photographer?
Yeah.
Yes.
I told her I have a team. We're going to bring everybody. And she's like, yeah, she's all about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a family-owned thing. So if you live in the Bay Area, especially the South Bay, like Los Gatos, San Jose, Campbell, man, this place is about 25 minutes away. So we're excited to do that. That's going to be our first show of Be a Tourist in Your Own State. And thank you, Joe, for that. How did you come up with that, by the way?
I know it's not an original idea. I'll tell you that much. I think I must have watched a documentary on, how to get excited with your life.
Okay.
Be a tourist in your own city, in your own state. Just having that excitement and that curiosity.
Yeah.
It helps. It really helps. So it's like I think I realized that I've taken Bay Area for granted growing up here, and a lot of people have moved in here. And then there's like a switch in me, and I was watching these videos. I'm like, oh, why not be a tourist in your own state, in my own city?
Exactly.
You can discover so much more.
Yeah, and that's kind of the state of travel right now, because like there's not real much international travel. I know Mexico just opened up, so I've seen people go.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen people going to Tulum, like where I really want to go, Quintana Roo. Like Tulum is like popping right now. Like there's a lot of people going there because you can go to Mexico right now.
I want to go. There's a cave, a selenite crystals.
Oh wow!
A cave of it.
Yeah, and then
in
they have
Chihuahua, Mexico.
Okay.
Like that. We gotta
yeah,
go.
so we definitely have to make some trips to Mexico, but
Yeah.
but pretty much most travel that most people are comfortable with right now is like within the area, like
Yeah.
little staycations. So this is an excellent spot for a staycation, and we're definitely going to go back. I know you guys were a tourist in California recently. You went up to Weed, California, and
30 minutes away from Shasta. Mount
okay.
Shasta.
So how was that?
It was beautiful. Like the air is so much better. It's just all the energy. It felt really good. It felt like home, like spiritually and energetically. Even though I've never been there my whole life, it was my first time.
That's
you
awesome.
know?
Just like being like in nature, like it's amazing. Like, and since the quarantine, actually, I discover like more places than before.
Really?
Yeah.
What other places have you discovered?
Even like I live in Pacifica.
Yeah.
And like there's so many like areas, like hiking areas in Pacifica I never know about.
Yeah, it's crazy. Huh?
Unless once they say, oh, you guys on quarantine, like
Yeah.
and you cannot go outside. So I just went to nature. Like I'm like in area like clean air next to the ocean, no one around me, like and one of the areas, Muscle Rock, and even Joe like didn't
In Daly City.
yeah, she didn't know about it. Like she
Oh.
lived like
I did
10
it.
minutes away from
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Muscle Rock
Muscle
either.
Rock,
By the way,
yeah.
this shirt says only gains, not only fans. So it's all about only gains, right? But anyway, so
Muscles.
Muscle Rock.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a beautiful area, and you can just go like hike down to it's like in the mountain, like you park somewhere like in the mountain, and
Okay.
then you hike down to the ocean, and there's like a cave actually, like on the beach.
Wow.
Like you go inside the cave, like it's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. See, guys, already 2 beautiful places that we discovered within like 5 minutes or 10
Yeah.
minutes or 20 minutes of where
Yeah.
we live. I mean, California is beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. I know I was bashing California a little bit earlier, but I wasn't bashing it because it's not beautiful. I mean, I love California. I've been to Georgia, Florida, Texas, Colorado, Nevada, Washington, Oregon. I've been to Wyoming, right? Nothing compares to California as far as weather-wise, as far as things to do, things to see. I know Utah's kind of a hidden gem. We're definitely going to make a trip out there.
Yeah.
But nothing compares to California as far as the climate, as far as what there is to do. Like
The food.
The food. I mean, you get all seasons, you
Yeah.
know. So I love that part of California. It's just, the financial part about it. Like, I mean, honestly, California is getting expensive. It's like, especially the Bay Area. I'm talking about the Bay Area because I know there's some not expensive parts of California. Like if you're like in Sacramento or Central Valley.
Tracy, Stockton.
Tracy, yeah. I'm talking about the Bay Area. The Bay Area is pretty much get rich or get out. Like pretty much, right? But I mean, there's so many beautiful places, and
Yeah.
that's probably one positive thing of this whole situation that's going on is that people have been inspired to be more active. Like bicycles are like, you can sell a bicycle for 2 to 3 times it's even worth on Facebook Marketplace right now, because more people are biking, more people are out in nature,
Hiking. Yeah.
hiking,
I love walking.
walking. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
one thing I want to add, what I would advise to someone who's like pretty bored at home, I would search your own city and on Google and look up all the interesting places
Yeah.
and learn about the history and this and that. That's
Yeah.
one thing I did.
There's a lot of like nice places like just around you, like you don't you don't know about, but just like you have to search. And like one of the areas I went in Pacifica, I took a picture and I downloaded like to Google Maps, and just like few months it's got 30,000 views.
What photo?
Wow.
Where is it at?
So you went viral.
Yeah,
A picture viral.
yeah, on Google Maps.
Wow.
That's
Where
funny.
is it at though? In San Francisco?
You know where like we want to go, like where the horses? No, in Pacifica.
Oh, okay.
I forget the name of the area. I went hiking there, and like it looks like a lot of people like searching for like hiking areas like right now. And it's got like 30,000 views in a few months.
Okay, you gotta share that photo with us then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said before, and I have a video about this, about what God told me about the quarantine. You guys can go back to our page and check it out. But it gave people time to stop and smell the roses, like that quote, you know. But now they're smelling nature, you know, because before, you know, especially Californians, they're fast-paced, go, work, kids, school, this, da. They never took time to stop and actually just think, what's around me?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so kind of a blessing in disguise of this whole situation that's going on is people are able to stop. They're now exploring their own city. And by the way, if you don't know, just keep watching our channel, because eventually you're going to have hundreds of videos of where to go in your own state. And we're going to check out other states as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a positive thing, I think. Or one of the positives that's come out of this whole situation is I believe people are more active. They're spending more time with their family. They're getting out in nature more. They're discovering their area more. Like RV rentals, like skyrocketed. Because an RV, you kind of can be quarantined in your little RV. You can social distance. You can travel within the states. You know what I mean? So I think that's a really positive thing. And you guys have already discovered, I mean.
Well, yeah. Well, more importantly is connecting with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Connecting with yourself in a different way where you've never connected with yourself because you're so busy working 2 jobs. You know, hardly had a day off, which was me before quarantine.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, and now like, you know, when quarantine happened, things got slower, and I'm like, man, I just want to create, I want to build, I want to contribute. And Isaac hits me up with a vision, and here we are.
Here we are, and that's crazy. Here we
Yeah.
are. This is our 9th podcast. This is going to be our 9th podcast when it gets released. But yeah, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
And Hatem, you mentioned that your photo 30,000 views. You know what that tells me? That this is your purpose.
Yeah.
Because how could it go viral? It's just truth.
To be honest, like when I have the picture there, I thought like no one gonna see it. Like I didn't have like in my mind I want to take the picture so it's gonna go viral. Like who goes viral on Google Maps?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like not a goal, you know.
Yeah.
Like to like, I just like I like the area, it's a beautiful area, and I just want to share it.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
beautiful. It's like very authentic. Like
Yeah.
you don't even care like for the outcome. You just want to capture it and share it.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
And that's what happened. Like few months later, like I got today morning I got like a message from Google Maps, they saying you reached 50,000 views.
50,000
Yeah,
views.
for like 4
Can't
or
wait
5
till our-
pictures. You know,
That's crazy.
Can we
That's
share
awesome.
this photos under the description? Is
Yeah,
that possible?
we'll put links below. We'll
Yeah.
somehow share with you guys. But
Yeah.
If you want to
50,000
share.
Yeah, we can have it in the podcast. Just like show the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll show you the picture on the podcast. But 50,000 views for that's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Few
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
Wow, man. You know, Hatem, that just tells me like you're following your purpose. Like you're on the right path. Like
Yeah.
that's just a sign. The universe is saying, yeah, keep going, buddy. You're on the right path. Just like I don't know if you guys have heard of that skater Cholo guy who just went viral, where he's drinking cranberry juice, and it got 40 million views in a week.
Wow. What he was doing?
He was just skateboarding, and because he does TikTok videos. He does a lot of TikTok videos of music, and he had the song "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac, which is
I love that song.
Yeah, from 1977. It's just like it's a vibe, right? Like he's just chill, like skateboarding, looking around, drinks ocean spray, and then he sings the song, and that's it. And that thing went viral, 40 million views. He got like $10,000 in donations. He's now
amazing.
like instantly famous. 40 million views.
Yeah.
Wow.
It got 4 million views in like 7 minutes. Like I just remember my feed was full of this guy. Looks like a cross between a gangbanger and a skater, and super cool guy, by the way. Next thing you know, every Instagram story had it, and I'm like, what is this, right? And then it's viral. He's been interviewed by like TMZ and just like that, man. It's crazy, right?
So he should be on our podcast. Basically.
Yes. I think his name is Nathan Apodaca. He's from Idaho Falls, by the way. He works at a potato factory. He lives in a mobile home he bought for $1,000. And he had all these bills and all this debt, and he was struggling. But he would just post cool, funny like TikTok videos, and he's viral now. And next thing you know, his life is completely different. So I can't wait till we go viral. You know what I mean? But yeah, and he even said, I was just doing me.
He was authentic.
Yeah, he was authentic. Yeah.
I like that.
And that's it. Should be a lesson to all you guys out there. You know, just do you. Like, be authentic. Don't try to be somebody else. Just be you. Do you. Don't care what people think. And next thing you know, you'll go viral. Yeah. But yeah, so we're definitely going to be going back to the Fern River Resort. We're going to be going to a lot of places in our state.
Rail bikes.
Right? So if you guys have not heard, in Fort Bragg up in Northern California, there's a skunk train and rail bikes. So you can rent these like bikes that are like 2-person bikes, like 4-wheel bikes, and you could basically ride along the train tracks in the middle of the forest and just have an amazing experience. So we're definitely going to do that.
And I think you can also hop off the bike and you can go start hiking.
Yeah.
Right?
So halfway through, there's a place where they get off, and then they have like an hour and a half to eat lunch or hike or whatever. So that's going to be exciting, right? So those will be our first couple trips, and but yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. So another thing that we were talking about earlier, but we have the holidays coming up, right? We have Thanksgiving, we have Halloween, we have Christmas, we have Black Friday. But guess what? Yeah, New Year's Eve. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So let's talk about that, because as for my experience, all of our family events have now been on Zoom. So there's been like birthdays on Zoom, baby showers on Zoom, a lot of baby showers, right? There's a lot of babies being born because of this pandemic, you know, because what is there to do but hang out and be quarantined with your significant other? And a baby's probably going to happen, right? You know, they said they had the millennials. They're calling these the coronials, right? So the coronials are happening. So there's like baby showers left and right, and I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think Halloween's going to be like this year?
I think there's still going to be parties and gatherings, to be honest, you know?
I agree.
I mean, whether it's just your friends or a real legit party, people are going to dress up and have fun.
Yeah.
Be creative.
I mean, like a few days, like on the weekend, I was like next to Mission Park, Dolores Park.
Dolores Park, yeah.
Dolores Park, okay.
And like, it feels like there's no corona at all. Like everyone just like gathering together, like.
But that is outdoors, though.
Yeah, but like still, like
you see, like
no social distancing.
No social distancing.
Yeah. They're like, oh, shoot, I forgot.
They have a spot, like each group like sit, but like each group is like 10, 15. And
it's supposed to be on like 6, right?
Yeah, and then they talk to the other group and like everyone together. So for Halloween, I think like young generation, they're gonna party at home and having like 100 people at home and
just be safe, guys. Just be safe.
So.
You know, Halloween used to be the holiday that I look forward to the most when I was young, because
true.
It's like, I don't know how to say this. It's probably going to come out wrong, but National Dress Like a Hoochie Day. Like most, like there's either women that dress in costumes or there's women that pretty much are like running around half naked, right?
Yeah.
So as a guy, we used to love it because like it gave certain women like a pass. Like you can dress pretty hoochie and no one's gonna judge you because it's Halloween. You know what I mean? So as a guy, my perspective was like,
Well, guys dress pretty hoochie too. I'm talking about gay men.
I'm
but,
sure.
You know,
Especially the gay men, right?
Gay boys.
It doesn't even need to be Halloween for
That's
that,
true.
right?
Yeah.
You
But
see all your fantasy too.
yeah, it's like your fantasies.
And,
So I don't know how.
enemy character or whatever.
I don't know how many
Anime
times
character?
I've
It's
met
funny.
girls that I dated on Halloween. It was like the sexy cat or the nurse. Anyways, so that used to be my favorite holiday. Not because I want to dress up, because I didn't really care about dressing up, right?
Yeah.
I would always be one of those people that found a costume like the day of Halloween, and I just had whatever was left at the costume store, you know. But you know, I agree with you guys. I think there's going to be some people that are not even going to care. They're going to have huge parties, and we'll see, because that's another thing. It's flu season's coming up and all that, you know. But I'm just interested to see how that goes. What do you guys think? You know, leave it in the comments. You think, are you going to go to a Halloween party? Are you going to dress up? Is it going to be Zoom Halloween parties? You know, that would be kind of weird, like dressed up.
What about us? Why don't we have a Halloween party?
We should.
We should record a podcast with our costumes on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm trying to get a guest because Halloween's on a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get a guest, a Halloween podcast, right?
Okay. Have them dress up.
Yeah, but we should try to do that. Get a podcast and then also have like a little Bliss Seekers Halloween party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have it safe,
Fun,
social distance. You know, vegan food. Yeah.
I mean, it's mainly you guys. Like I've been seeing like every week consistently,
Exactly,
so it's not a big deal. No problem whatsoever.
I
Everyone's
agree.
healthy.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we should have a podcast and our first Bliss Seekers party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On Halloween. But no, like I agree with you, because you know, you guys are pretty much, besides you guys and you know, pretty much you guys now. You know, I want to build this like a family. Like it's not a business. Like this ain't business. This is family. Like I want to.
Is it called the Bliss family?
The Bliss Nation.
The Bliss Nation.
It's a Bliss Nation, by the way, and we want to have a huge nationwide, worldwide, right? So we want to do things together, because you know, if you build a family, you know, this is going to only be successful because you know we're all going to have each other's back and support each other. But that'll be fun, right? Are you guys going to dress up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should.
I gotta check online now. I gotta go online.
What do you guys want to be this year? Like, any ideas?
I've always wanted to be a warrior princess.
Okay.
Like some kind of ninja warrior, female, you know, with a sword or
there you go.
like something like that. I'll figure it out.
Warrior princess. What about
Joe
you, Hatem?
Ninja?
Joe Ninja. There you go. Warrior nun.
I'm not sure yet, but like I don't want to be wearing something scary.
Yeah.
Like something. Yeah.
Something light.
Warrior of light. Be a warrior of light.
Yeah.
All white.
All white, right? And a sword. All white outfit and a sword.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know what I want to be. Shoot. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to ask, because by the time this podcast is released, I think it'll be Halloween like a couple days later.
You can surprise us or surprise yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I dress up as for Halloween. But I don't remember the last time I dressed up. When was the last time you guys dressed up?
I don't remember. It's been years.
2 or 3 years ago. But
Yeah.
I'm always like a ghost or like wearing the black with, you know, the Scream movie.
Oh,
this
man.
movie.
Scary
You want to
Ghost.
scare people?
Yeah.
You like scary
Oh,
movies?
I was
Yeah.
a vampire. Remember, I had a red.
I like vampires.
I
Yeah.
had a red contact lens on.
Oh, cool.
I could only had it for like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, because it would hurt my eyes. It was too drying.
I
was a vampire.
I would love to put like crazy contacts, but my eyes are way too sensitive. Like I don't even think I'd be able to put the contact in. But yeah, vampire is one of my favorite costumes.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like the Dia de los Muertos. Like I
those are
paint my face up and
beautiful.
all that. I have a really cool picture of me dressed up like that, and like has a crazy outfit on, and I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we got Halloween, and then we have Thanksgiving. Do you guys usually get together with your family for Thanksgiving?
Family or Friendsgiving. I've gone to a
Friendsgiving.
lot of Friendsgivings
Yeah.
gatherings, but now that I'm vegan, I don't know how that's gonna work with
Looks like we might have a
with my
Bliss
other
Seekers.
friends. So
We might have a Bliss Seekers vegan Friendsgiving.
there you go.
Right?
I'm all about that.
I made a really good vegan mushroom gravy like 2 years ago. It was so good. I made it like for the next 6 months just to
Nice.
put on everything, right? So yeah, we could have a vegan friend. What about you, Hatem? What do you usually do for Thanksgiving?
Usually it's not big holiday for me.
Okay,
'cause
you're like, I'm working.
Mm.
Yeah, because like my family in Syria.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
And I don't have like a big family here.
Well, now you do. You have the Bliss Seekers family.
If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you wanna be with us or you wanna work, but you should be with us.
Yeah. Well-
Usually I'm not working because like it's a holiday.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
But,
thought
like,
you
I
would
don't do
be
anything,
working. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
And if it's not really a big deal to you like that, it's just like another day. Like it's just a day off. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Because I'm not really like all about, because my family's all like gone. Like my parent, not gone, like they're still here, they're
Yeah, yeah.
alive. But my parents live in Hawaii, so
Mm.
obviously they're not coming here, and I'm not going there. Probably could go there, but I'm not going to go there. And they're older, so they have to be a little more careful with travel. The rest of my family lives in Sacramento or the Central Valley. So if I want to spend time with family, I have to drive 2 hours. And usually I want to come back the same day. Does that make sense?
mhm.
Or I have to get an Airbnb and stay the night and come back the next day. So it's kind of like a big hassle for me, like to go do stuff. And I do want to be with family, but if I do want to be with family, it's a 4-hour commute or I have to stay the night and it's 2 hours each way. So I pretty much have been either with someone that I was dating or by myself for the last couple Thanksgiving. So I'm kind of like you, Hatem. It's just like another day off, right? Or like, since I was in my previous company and we're like, entrepreneurs don't have holidays, so I'd probably be working or whatever,
Yeah.
or the company would have a company party and that would be like my holiday, right? So, so yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to be Zoom Thanksgivings with a lot of people. That'll be, I think that's kind of what maybe my family will do is like everyone's going to do their own thing, but we'll all Zoom in for like a couple minutes or whatever. But I don't know. It's crazy. Like these next few months, October, November, December, January, they're very important months. If you think about it, we have election, we have flu season coming up, we have no stimulus yet, we have Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas and New Year's,
Black Friday.
Black Friday, right?
That's it.
I mean, what do you think Black Friday is going to be like? Are people even gonna go to the stores? Like I'm not. I always do my shopping online anyways.
Me
Like,
too.
I think it's
I-
ridiculous to just go out and fight with people for stuff.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, it is a business, right?
Yeah,
They might have people, like kind of like limited,
yeah.
like customers coming in, social distancing.
But
I
if you,
have a feeling they might do that instead of just everything online.
yeah, but if you think about it, like you're gonna have people fight because like it's first come first serve. So like they might be fighting in line. Like I don't know. It's crazy, right? I have no idea what's gonna happen.
You've never been in a Black Friday shopping?
I think I did like many years ago, but like after online shopping became popular, I do most of my shopping online. I don't know about you guys.
Same
But
here.
Clothes, food. I mean, the only thing I really go to the store for is groceries,
Yeah.
right? Unless I can get them online. Like I get like, my supplements and,
Yeah.
cinnamon and all that kind of stuff online. But like vegetables and, well, pretty much vegetables, right? Vegetables and nuts and seeds and all that kind of vegan stuff, right? I get it. I have to go out and buy it, because they expire and, now I get my protein from my friend Lucas, Seitan Express. Shout out to Lucas Vegans, Seitan Express. So I get my protein. It's pretty much like vegan meat. They call Seitan as wheat meat. It's made out of shoot, I just drew a blank. What is it, Hatem?
Vital wheat.
Vital wheat gluten, right?
Vital wheat gluten.
So it's made out of vital wheat gluten and it has tons of protein. And I have a friend who's a bodybuilder, IBBF Pro. And man, each little piece of seitan has 35 grams of protein. So I get basically that's where I get my meat, my vegan meat, wheat meat, like Rosa, who was on our podcast a couple podcasts ago said from California Vegan Food. I get my wheat meat from there, but pretty much most of my shopping's online. And so I'm definitely not going to go out with crazy crowds fighting over stuff.
So like in Syria, we don't have Black Friday.
Okay.
Or maybe like we just have it like a few years ago.
Okay.
So when I first came here to United States, for me like Black Friday was really fun, and I was waiting for Black Friday.
Oh really?
And it's not like because I want to buy something cheap. It's just like the whole
experience
was fun. Like going like 12 a.m. At the mall, and everyone outside, and it's like everyone waiting, to get stuff. I don't know, like I love the experience. That was like because my first time.
So you did go to Black Friday?
Yeah.
Was it
so
last
you
year?
were following your bliss.
There you go.
No, that was like when I first came here. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
It was like 5 years ago,
Right.
7 years ago. So I used to go to Black Friday, especially when I was in San Diego.
Okay.
We go to mall, I think called Great America. It's on the border with Tijuana.
Okay.
That one like a huge mall, and like it's really crowded.
Yeah.
Go like 12 a.m. at the mall. It's fun,
crazy,
you know.
yeah.
And
Any?
I didn't have work. I didn't have
No?
jobs. So that time I was a student. So
Shoot.
it's fun. I didn't buy a lot of things because like even if you find something like good, you have to wait in line for like 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and sometimes I was in the line and I say like, is it worth it to wait 2
Yeah.
hours for this? And then I just throw away and go home.
Like, forget it. I don't want it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, but like last 5 years I never went. I do online, everything online.
So you got to experience though the
Just the
American
experience, yeah.
event of Black Friday. Any
Yes.
interesting Black Friday stories?
Um,
You see any fights?
no, actually, there was like no fights.
Okay.
It was fine. Like San Diego, really nice.
Yeah, San Diego's kind of a
Uh,
peace, chill town. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like it's crowded. Like I like the crowd. Like it feels good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's unique experience.
Yeah. It definitely, I could see where it's unique coming from Syria. Like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
heck is going on?
Yeah,
you
like
know?
going to the mall at 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Because like here like everything closes at 9. 10.
Yeah.
And then like the day start at 12, and then like we was like shopping until the morning, like from 12 to 6 a.m., 7 a.m.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
For a long time.
Yes.
I'd be sleeping.
Yeah. So I don't know. What Black Friday is going to be different. Everything's going to be different. We have flu season coming up, and honestly, I think a lot of I don't know. A lot of this stuff that's going on with our POTUS right now, our president, I think it's honestly to push the drugs, like the vaccines and all that kind of stuff, because how else do you get people to want to take a vaccine? You say, oh, the president got sick, and look, he's 70 something, and 2 days
Right.
later he's fine, right? What about you guys? Are you guys gonna take the vaccine?
Nope. I believe in natural medicine.
Me
Plant
too.
medicine,
I agree.
they've been around for thousands and thousands of years before we were born. Pharmaceutical drugs just came about maybe 200 years ago. Not really sure, but I believe in the power of plant medicine,
Yeah.
and food is healing.
Exactly.
Good food. So
They say this virus attacks people with weak immune systems. If you're plant-based, you have a strong immune system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take it. I mean, I heard that they're going to try to force you to take it. Like, I hope that doesn't happen, because now
No.
you're talking about like,
it's abuse.
yeah, like dictatorship. You know what I mean? Hatem probably has some experience with that, where they force you to do stuff in the
Yeah.
country. Any stories like that? Like about?
They don't force like to do that. No, actually they do. I think. Like before you go to school, like you have to take 5 shots.
Yeah, we have that too. Like,
Immunization.
yeah,
shots
Yeah,
we
or
have those
something.
too. Yeah, but like other things they haven't forced on the people. Like,
not like from like health wise, they don't like force us. They don't want us to be sick
that's a good thing, at
Like-
least. Jeez.
because like the pharmaceutical companies in C are not very strong, and the government paying for everything. So the government doesn't have money. And they don't want you to be
Yeah.
sick, so they don't give you anything. So.
Okay.
Did you take notes, America? We talk all this
And
crap about Syria. Look at that. They don't want you to be sick over there. They want you to be healthy because they can't afford to take care of you anyways.
And like insurance stuff is not popular. It's like I think like there's everyone like go to the hospital is free in Syria.
Wow.
There's like no insurance.
So it's a little bit like socialism.
Socialism, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Because like the same system with Russia before.
Yeah. Was Syria part of the USSR?
They wasn't, but like they kind of like influenced from them. They have same
system.
Same system, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Are you guys close to the USSR? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
What does that mean, by the way? SSR?
So Russia used to be something called the USSR. I forgot what that stands for, but it was a bunch of countries. It was like a superpower, right? That's why the United States always was fighting with Russia, because it was like they were fighting who was going to be the strongest company in the world. Strongest country in the world, right? And it was all about, we have nuclear and da 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 da, and it was called the Cold War, basically, because it was almost like, you want some of this, huh? You want some of that, right? Like they were fighting, but they were faking it, you know?
Yeah.
But what happened is, since I don't know that, I mean, I probably don't know what the heck I'm talking about here, but it's something like that caused Russia to fall apart, because they didn't have the financial stability to support them trying to beef up their military and everything to compete with the U.S. And they just ended up falling apart. So then all the countries kind of became like independent again. You know, they weren't part of this big Russian. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah. So it used to be in the 80s it was called the USSR. Okay. Now you have like Russia and all these different countries, Chechnya and all that kind of broke apart, and they're all kind of like their own countries.
So yeah, like the system like was there, like I don't know what they call it exactly, but like capitalism, like the like private companies running everything. In Syria, like the government running everything.
That's called communism, I think.
Communism? I'm not
It's
sure.
either communism or socialism, one of those two. Or Marxism, because Marxism was what came from Russia.
Yeah, we follow Marx.
Marxism.
Yeah,
okay,
yes.
So you guys follow the Marxist system.
Yeah, so all schools free. The government pay for all schools, like from university, master degree, PhD, all for free.
Wow.
And for health, everything free.
Meanwhile, here in America, we have student loan debt just passed up credit card debt. You have people that have student loan mortgages. They can't afford to get themselves taken care of because the healthcare is expensive. And then we trash other countries' systems, you know what I mean?
I think it's like just 10 years ago or 15 years ago, we start to have private schools and private hospitals.
Okay.
But like regular people, they just go like to the hospital. It's amazing. Same doctors, they are in the hospital and in the private one and the government one. And everything is for free.
Wow. And so it's still good healthcare and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
too.
so they don't want you to get sick. They are paying there's no insurance companies, no like.
I guess that makes sense. You know, like if you're on the hook for the bill, you don't want them to get sick. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas in this country, it's big pharma that controls everything. They want you sick because they want you to be taking the medications.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
I love that one.
If you haven't watched it, go to Netflix and watch it.
Is it still up there?
I don't know. But if it is, you should watch it because they literally want us fat, sick, and nearly dead.
It's by Joe Cross.
Yeah. Because guess what? If we're fat, sick, and nearly dead, we have to be hopped up on pills, and now they have a permanent client.
Yeah.
They have a forever client. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways,
just other thing about the vaccine, like I believe like we should work on our immune system, like how to make your immune system stronger.
Yeah.
Instead of just like go out trying like to take other medicines or like just live in fear.
Yeah.
It's like fear weaken your immune system.
I agree 100%.
That's why you should never be afraid from the disease.
It's funny you say that because the media causes a lot of fear. So maybe that also not only does the standard American diet cause you to be sick, not only does the fact that before this quarantine people are not active, that makes you sick, but you know, now the media makes you scared, and so you're always in fear. Like I don't watch the news. Like I tell my parents, please stop watching the news. Like they're kind of addicted to it. But it's like that's just nothing but fear. Like I hate watching the news. Like it's literally like someone has it, even if it's out on the end of the room, like you hear this person died, this person got raped, this thing's. I'm like, it's like, and like you try to ignore it, but it kind of like seeps in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a good point, Hatem. Like, you know, we as a country should be focused on being healthy and having strong immune systems
Yeah.
and not being in fear. But you know, the system's not built that way.
Yeah, well, also like protecting your own energy, like what you were doing there, just protecting your own energy by not watching news all
Yeah.
the time, having boundaries. It's not just about, you know, building your immune system up. To me, it's not just about the food that you eat, vitamins and all that stuff. It's like the mindset too.
The
Exactly.
emotion.
You know,
Yeah.
the your energy, and you gotta do all that.
Well, there's junk food for the brain too. Whatever you
Yeah.
feed your brain.
Yeah, I agree.
And negative news in media, and even social media, if you don't know how to use it right, is like junk food for your brain.
Mhm.
So they said like you are what you eat, and that not just food is like what information you are getting.
Yeah, it
so
should
be-
you
Yeah.
are like you are. If you all you hear is like death and scary stuff, that's who you are. You
Yeah.
always is scared.
Yeah.
You always think like something bad gonna happen to you. So you are what you eat.
You are what you consume.
Food, yeah, what you consume, like food, information,
Mm-hmm.
media, and I believe in the power of your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Dr. Joe Dispenza talk a lot about like the power of the subconscious mind. And he said like some stories about some people like in other countries, they have kind of like they drink poison, and they said, oh, like our God gonna protect us and we will not get sick even though we drink the poison.
Wow.
And they drink it, they don't get sick. And then like because he's a doctor, like this is what his research show. When you believe you are not getting sick, then you will not get sick. Like it's all in your subconscious mind.
And like, it's not just what you put in your body, it's what you put in your mind. And I think your mind's probably more powerful. Your mind controls your body. So every time you have a thought, it releases a chemical into your body, right? And that goes into your cells and basically causes you to be sick or to be healthier or whatever. So that's why it's very, very important, not only what you eat, but what you watch, what you read, who you hang out with, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and what you tell yourself.
Exactly.
Self-talk.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself whenever I do get scared or concerned, like I am loved, I am blessed, I'm protected, I'm supported, I'm honored, all of that. So
Amorilus.
I'm already loose. Yeah.
Yeah, actually like Tony Robbins, like I was listening to him and he said like very like nice example. Like he said like when we talk about something like old, what do you think? Like if you say like you think about yourself or someone like 60 years old, what picture came to your mind? Think about it, guys.
Yeah.
60 or 70 years old, what do you think? What picture came to your mind?
Wait, when I'm 6 years old?
No, like if I tell you like someone, he's 7 years old,
Like, what do you think
Oh,
about?
what picture came to your mind?
Someone with white hair.
White hair.
White hair, kind
Old.
of wrinkled.
Well, I kind of have a bad example because my parents look so young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're the late
Mm.
60s. They look like they're in their 50s or 40s, you know?
So that's awesome. So usually like we're gonna think about
It's actually a
something,
good example. But yeah.
something like old, something like it feels like weak,
Close to death, basically.
close to death,
Mm.
and not healthy, and
Mhm.
a lot of medication.
Mm-hmm.
And then he show a guy. He's like bodybuilder, and he's like 60 years old or
Mhm.
70 years old.
That's going to be
And
me.
he's like in amazing shape. And then he said like, if you believe you're gonna be that guy,
Yeah.
then that's like your body gonna like, you know, grow
Follow.
to follow.
Yeah.
That's
And if you
amazing.
believe like you're gonna be like old, weak, taking a lot of medication, then your body gonna grow to be that person.
Mm.
So what you have, the image in your mind is so powerful.
Oh, I didn't know you're talking about me, what I would look like when
Yeah.
I'm 60 or 70.
Well, he just meant like in
Just
general.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah. Like when
this
someone
is the
tells you.
picture, yeah, like the picture of an old guy, someone 7 years old. The picture came right away to
Yeah.
you, not someone muscular, not someone
No.
healthy. It came someone weak, you know,
Yeah, white
And
hair.
white hair. And there's a lot of people right now, like 7 years old.
Mm.
They are like very in good shape,
Mhm.
you know, like they hike every day. They, you know, hike 2 miles
A lot of
day,
energy.
a lot of energy. So that's a false image we have in our system, in our subconscious mind.
I agree.
So you need to make sure like you clear this. And I get this example because we are talking about getting sick and the flu season. So if in your mind think like every season you're gonna get sick, you already like make it in your mind and you're gonna manifest that. So you have to believe like I'm healthy, I'm not gonna get sick.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%, because ever since I went plant-based, I have not gotten sick in like almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like there's people like, oh, I'm so sick, and I'm just like, I'm fine,
Yeah.
And another thing too is, when I was growing up, I was an old soul. You guys know what an old soul is? Like someone who's young but they feel old, like they're very mature. And then someone told me, you are such a young, youthful spirit the other day, and I was like, that's funny, because I grew up as an old soul, but I actually feel like my soul is younger than it was when I was young, which is weird.
You know
what I mean?
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're following your bliss.
Yeah, maybe. But like, I seriously, my spirit is now youthful. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so it's funny what you said, Hatem. I went and I Googled 43-year-old man on the internet, and it was all these dudes that look like old, gray hair, fat. And I'm like, that doesn't look like me. And then I Googled 26-year-old male, and it was like people that look like me, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, yes, I do have young genes, but like, this is important, guys. And I think this is a powerful message. Like, you will become what you believe you are.
Exactly, yeah.
And you can make yourself younger and healthier, and you can make yourself sick and old. It's up to you. The choice is yours, right? And it's weird. Like, I literally feel like I'm getting younger. My soul is even younger. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm dating people like that age. I don't know. But like, in order for me to date somebody that's in their, late 20s, early 30s, I have to be like youthful, I can't be walking around like an old man, like, you know what I mean? Or I need to have energy too. Trust me, these young girls have a lot of energy, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, shit. I am 42 sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though I look like it. But anyways, I digress. But no, I think you made a great point, Hatem. I think it is true. You can actually make yourself younger. You can make yourself by how you eat, staying active, how you think, right? Who you hang out with, like all that kind of stuff.
It's just a belief system, yeah. And the flu season coming, and just don't be like every winter I get sick. Yeah. Like you have to change this belief.
Trust me, if you say that, you will get sick every winter. It's don't listen to your own BS. And you know what that stands for? Belief system.
Yeah.
Right? See, it's everyone's listening to their own BS. Their own BS is controlling their life. And I'm not talking about bull poop. I'm talking about belief system, right? So yeah, that's a great point, Hatem. And I'm glad you said that, because I literally feel like growing up, I was an old soul, and now I feel like I'm a youthful spirit, which is kind of
it's all
awesome.
Like in your mind, like just whatever you believe. Like you believe you are young, you're gonna start acting young. Your body gonna believe it's young, so like it's gonna generate like more young cells.
I always tell myself I'm young, even though people my age, they're like, I'm getting older. Don't say that.
Yeah,
like, never say that. Never say something.
All my friends are like that. I know. You know who you are, friend.
Yeah,
their name starts
I have
with
a lot of
E.
people.
If you listen to this, he's like, oh, I'm getting old. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm like, dude, just stop that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and another friend of mine was like, her name's Vivian. Hi, Vivian, San Diego. She was like, how do you have so much energy, Joe? Like, you're doing all these things, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'm just doing the things I like to do. And I'm vegan. I eat pretty good. I exercise. I meditate. And follow my bliss. And she was just like, how do you have so much energy? I do feel pretty young.
You're like, I just told you.
Yeah. It's just like, I think it's about like, doing what your heart desires. It does make you feel younger.
Yeah. And that's what this whole podcast is about. We want to inspire people to discover their true purpose and follow their bliss, because they say when a man, but let's just say when a human finds their true purpose, they come alive. Right? Like we want you guys to come alive. Like you guys can probably hear it in our voices. You can see it in our faces. Like we're for the most part, obviously life's not perfect. Everyone has issues, but we're genuinely happy because we're we're living our truth. Like, I mean, you had pictures that just went viral on Google Maps. Like, how crazy is that? You're like, I'm just going to take a picture. Next thing you know, boom, 50,000 views, right? In a couple of weeks or whatever. You know, that's awesome. But talking about staying fit, gyms just reopened up, and now you guys have been hitting up the gyms because you guys live in the same area. You know, I kind of wish we all lived in the same area, but unfortunately I'm here in the South Bay, and you
one
guys
of these
are,
days.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have a huge studio with like a gym, with like a chef, with like a garden, with like, it's gonna be awesome, right? And but yeah, so you guys recently went back to the gym. Tell us about that.
I've been there 3 times already for the last week.
What's it like now, post quarantine and all that?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, obviously everyone's wearing a mask. There's
Yeah.
a lot of social distancing. I don't have to wait for any equipment.
That's a good thing.
We've been in the gym like once together. The bathrooms are clean. I don't know. Like,
Wow.
I'm good. The only complaint I have is like doing cardio while you have a mask on.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to breathe.
I can't even breathe with those things on.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the gym's like super clean and not many people in the gym. So like you don't need to wait for the machines. Like this is like the best thing. Like you just, it before took me like hour and a half to finish my workout. Now like 1 hour, like 45 minutes, I'm
That's
done.
great.
You know,
That's
I
how it
don't
should
need to
be.
wait. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And super clean. Yeah. We go to 24-hour fitness.
Yeah, so
the
do
one
I.
in Pacifica, and I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a membership at 24 Hour Fitness too. I've had it since 1998.
Wow.
So, or 96, I believe. 98 or 96. I remember, like, okay, again.
I wasn't even here yet.
Yeah, you were still in the Philippines, right?
Yep.
So I'm aging myself again, but I remember like this new gym that's open 24 hours. And back then it was called 24-Hour Nautilus.
What?
Right? Yeah. And like, I remember like, we were so fired up because I was young. Like I was in my like 18, 19. I think I was 18 when I got my membership. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But me and my friends used to play basketball like at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like just young kids with all this energy. Like we'd go to the gym at like 1 a.m. and go play basketball, right? But I've been a member since 1998. So I pay $99 a year. For all clubs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be at that level.
So I can never get rid of my 24-hour fitness membership because I'll never get that again. Like that's like pretty much $8 a month. Like if I wanted a membership now, it'd be like $40
Even
a
Super
month.
Sport?
So some super sports.
Okay.
That's where they kind of screwed me over.
Okay.
Because like so this happened in 2005. Like I lived in Southern California, and the guy was like, "Hey, we have a deal right now. If you pay 3 years in advance, like it was something like $1,500, and I get free personal training, and then they would drop my membership down to $99 a year." I was like, "Really?" And I was doing real estate at the time, so I had all this money. I'm like, gave him like $1,500, no problem, and it dropped my membership. So since 2005, I've been paying $99 a year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Or maybe 2008. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so I can't get rid of it. But see, there was no super sports back then. So they started creating the super sports. And when they first started creating them, they're like, okay, you're grandfathered in, right? Now they don't let me be part of like the big brand new super sports. Like, oh no, you're just only these. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. Like I only get to pick which super sports I can be a part of, and there's only like 2 of them, right? So the good thing is I'm part of the one in San Jose, but I can't be part of the new one in Milpitas. I have to go to like the kind of old one in San Jose, which is crazy. But yeah, so anyways, but I built the gym in my backyard. So I built the gym maybe about 2 months ago. Because I was just getting fed up. Like, I remember, so the gym opened up for like a day. Yeah, so, you know, I got fed up and I was like, you know what? I went to the gym. I was like all excited. I did legs. I was like, yeah, gyms are opening. 2 days later, we're closing it back down again. I was like, dang it. And, you know, I had been wanting to build a home gym before the quarantine, and it was going to cost me about $700. Well, during the quarantine, the price of gym equipment skyrocketed. Like literally it's $3 a pound. Like I broke it down to $3 a pound, like for weights and stuff. So anyways, I was like, you know what, I really didn't want to invest that much money in a gym, but I said it's probably going to be a great investment, and I'm so glad I did. I built a whole gym in my backyard, squat rack, bench press. I got the squat bars. I got barbells. I got all the weights. I got, you know, a hex bar. Like I have, you know, battle ropes. So, and then I had my new roommate move back in. And literally, I've been working out 6 days a week for the last 6 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah. And like, cause I'm like, shoot, I spent the money. I have to do it, you know? And here's another lesson to you guys out there. If you want to get something done, you have to get rid of all your excuses. If you want to get a habit that, like something that's like really hard for you to do, like being consistent in the gym for me. I mean, I was consistent, but it'd be like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Now it's like, dude, I just invested over $2,000. It's in my backyard. I have to do it. So I pretty much got rid of every single excuse in the books because it's like 2-minute walk, like not even that, like in my backyard, right? So I've been working out now for 6 days a week for the last 6 weeks. And it's cool. I'm so glad my roommate moved in because we kind of like motivate each other, you know, when he doesn't want to do it, I push him, you know. And it's the best thing I ever did. And, you know, I'll probably go back to 24-hour fitness for like maybe certain equipment I don't have or the steam room and stuff like that. But I mean, I love it. Like I honestly don't really need the gym. I'm not going to get rid of it because when we travel, I want a gym to go to, right? And have all clubs. But yeah, I built a home gym. I'm super fired up. I'm excited that Core Power Yoga just opened up. I know we were talking about heated yoga, right? Like Bikram and all that. But this is not Bikram. This is dry heat. But there's a class called Yoga Sculpt at Core Power Yoga, which is like it's like a hit cardio, yoga, core, abs, weights in a 95-degree room, like crazy for an hour. So like literally, it's like the most intense workout, and it gives me flexibility, helps me work out my core, and it helps me sweat. So before the quarantine, I actually was starting to get like kind of not a 6-pack because I don't think I've ever had a 6-pack. I don't know if it's like my Mexican genetics or what, but I was getting like a 4-pack, right? And I was like the leanest I've ever been. I had a small waist. Now I put on like a little waist, right? So, but that was like what I needed to help me strengthen my core, get flexible. So I'm super fired up. They just opened up. But again, I haven't been there because we have to wear a mask. We have to social distance. So I don't know what that's going to be like, but I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Are you guys excited for gyms to open up? Do you go to a class like that? Are you going to go with the mask? Did you build a home gym? Leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I know you guys are working out together, which is awesome. Yeah. So at least you guys have each other for workout buddies. Like I have my roommate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we live really close to one another. I'm really excited about going back to Bikram yoga, vinyasa, heated yoga. When I moved to San Francisco, it was like, I'm going to do yoga every week. Yeah. That was a consistent thing for me. And I was doing that every week, a few times a week. And then, you know, and then lockdown happened. Now it's open. So I'm excited to go back.
And by the way, like most guys are like, yoga's for girls. I don't want to do that. And that's what I said before I went into Core Power Yoga. But one of my exes invited me to go. I'm so glad she did because this is not yoga. This is like, I don't know. It's insane. It's like survival pretty much, you know.
Were you dating her or you guys were already exes?
Something like that.
Because I was going to say it was actually my girlfriend back in 2015 or 13 who introduced me to vinyasa yoga. Yeah, so shout out to you. You know who you are.
So we were exes, but we were kind of like off and on.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of those things. But anyways, thank you. You know who you are for introducing me to Core Power Yoga because it's the most amazing workout. And it's funny because guys will go in there thinking they're all tough, like pro athletes. Like a former San Jose Sharks player goes there. He's actually the guy that does the radio and TV for them. A former pro soccer player goes there. A college baseball player went there. And by the end, they're like done. They're like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of excited about that. So, hey guys, if you're a guy, this isn't like yoga, like where you're just stretching. This is like hardcore workouts called Yoga Sculpt at Core Power Yoga. I'm not sponsored by them. Hopefully one day we will. Or try the Bikram yoga, which is so Core Power is like dry heat, like sauna. Yeah. Bikram is like steam room. Yeah. I prefer the steam room when I go into the sauna steam room, but for the Bikram's a little too crazy. It's way too hot for me. I almost died when I went there.
I think that's why I like it because I always want to pass out. Like, wait, no, center yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm traumatized or something like that, right?
Guys, I'm excited now to try yoga. I never
Yeah,
done
there we
So
go.
maybe
You should.
next time we go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try both of them. Try core power with me,
Yeah.
and then try the Bikram with her, and see which one you like better.
Yeah, you could
know?
do a 7-day pass
Yeah.
if they still have it.
Okay.
Core power.
Core
That's
power
what I
has a
did
7-day
before.
pass too.
I
So
love
you-
core power actually.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, we should all go one time.
Oh yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
Bliss
Good,
Seekers do
yeah.
core power.
Record.
Yeah.
Like here we are. Okay.
So make a video, and then hopefully they give us all free memberships.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh
core-
hell yeah.
yeah.
That would be ideal.
So core power is cool because they do have the yoga. It's
Mhm.
called core power. That's like just stretching.
Yeah.
Then they have basically a stretching class,
Mm.
and then they have the yoga sculpt. The sculpt is like hit cardio. It's like
You're doing like weights, right?
yeah, it's
You
like
have
weights
Mhm.
and everything. It's like all the
Okay.
exercises in one.
Yeah, well, they also have candlelight. If you've ever been in a candlelight session,
What
it's
is
more
that?
chill. It's more relaxing.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
like nothing too intense, like
Yeah.
with the sculpting,
Yeah.
with the weights and stuff like that. It's more chill.
So
It's like at the end of the night.
which class you guys recommend as someone like first time
First
trying
time?
yoga? Yeah.
I still recommend yoga sculpt, even though it's probably going to be the most intense workout you've
Mhm.
ever done,
Yeah.
because you could pace yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to be a hero because you'll kill yourself.
They
you know
try
what I
to
mean?
catch
Yeah.
up.
Just go slow. Don't use weights the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Build up,
Yeah.
and we'll take you, Hatem. Don't
Yeah,
worry, you'll be safe.
y'all
right?
do it.
I'm probably gonna die. I haven't done that in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like so this was crazy. This is how much you get addicted to it too, by the way.
Hmm.
I got addicted. I did 100 classes in my first year. I didn't even
Wow.
realize it. Like that's
Wow.
pretty much
Pretty
like 3 a week, you know?
Mhm.
And I remember so I got an email. It says, "Hey, you're at 96 classes for the year." And I was like, "Oh shoot." And I had 7 days left.
Wow.
So I literally went like almost every single day, and I got my 100 classes in. And my goal for 2020 was 150. And
Wow.
then everything happened,
Mm.
right? So
Interesting.
150 is like almost you go in
almost every day, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, there's 360. So it's like basically every other
One-
day.
Wait.
every other day.
Yeah.
So your goal for this year was to do yoga?
150 yoga scope classes.
My, that's so funny. We're
Yeah.
so alike. Like
Yeah,
my
that's
goal when I moved to San Francisco was to do yoga like at least 3 times a week.
It's not
Well-
funny. It's alignment.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
there you go, right?
So ironic.
And then it's Hatem
It's
with
so
his
cool.
viral picture, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, well, we're all excited. We're all back into fitness again. I got
Yep.
my home gym. They're going back to the gyms. We're all plant-based. I know Hatem's kind of converting a little bit. We're converting them. And yeah, so I mean, the last thing we want to talk about, I guess, is the vision for this podcast. You know, when the idea popped into my head back in, I think it was May, and I made the decision, because all it takes is a decision. They say the most powerful force in the universe is a made-up mind. Have you ever met somebody who literally has made up their mind and they're not changing?
Yes.
There's no stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's rare.
Yeah, it's rare, right?
Mhm.
So I made up my mind. I said I'm gonna do a 180-degree career shift, and I'm gonna do this podcast, right? And pretty much, you know, I had this vision, and you know, I learned a lot of business principles in my life, and I said I'm gonna apply everything I've learned about success and about the law of attraction and about the universe, and I'm gonna apply it to this and cast a big vision. So after I made the decision and I started casting the vision, it's like, bam, everything started happening. So then I called Jo. It was the first phone call, right? And she was all about it. And then we hit up Des, right? And on Zoom, right? Des was all about it. And then I'm on Instagram and I see Hatem making videos, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? And I sent him a DM, and he's like all about it.
Mhm.
And here we are, right? We went from one camera, not the best table, not the best angles, but excitement and passion and purpose. And, you know, our goal is to eventually have, you know, maybe get up to 3 podcasts a week. Our goal is to be the #1 podcast in the world. Our goal is to inspire people to find their purpose. We're going to have a state-of-the-art Bliss Seekers compound, where it's going to be the studio, kind of like Joe Rogan, right? It's going to be the studio. It's going to be a full gym. It's going to be a kitchen with a chef, obviously plant-based chef. You know, we're going to have like a great outdoor space. Maybe it'll be close to nature, like the best equipment. Like we're going to be worldwide, like known. And we're also going to be a nomadic podcast where we're going to travel. We're going to be a tourist in your own state, because that's where Joe's genius came from, right? So we're going to make videos, and that's where Hatem comes in. And, you know, Hatem wants to do, I mean, I'll let you guys share what you want to do as well. But we're going to eventually be traveling, and we're going to travel, and we're going to podcast our experience. We're going to talk about, so we'll be in Zion National Park. We'll have this great experience. We'll bring this equipment with us, and we'll record a little podcast about our experience that day, if it's possible, right? If not, we'll, but you know, I see us as having at least 250 million subscribers. You know, I want the Bliss Seekers to sign $1 billion deal. You know, Joe Rogan just signed 100 million. I want to be at least 10 times bigger than Joe Rogan. So I can't wait the day that the Bliss Seekers are inking that contract for maybe, I don't know, let's say $4 billion, right? And, you know, we just signed a $4 billion deal with a huge company, or maybe we create the company. Who's talking about signing with people, right?
Yeah.
We are our own company, right? And this is going to be a company, and I'm just fired up, and I'm very happy and grateful that you guys are bought into the vision, and you guys are on the mission with us and with me, because I don't see this as I'm the boss or this is my thing. I see it, this is our thing. Like I want this to be a springboard for, like, because I was talking to Dionn today, and
Dionn Renee,
yeah,
hello.
Dionn Renee, woo woo, our graphic designer out in Jersey, from Pennsylvania, Harrisburg. But we're talking because she remembers In Living Color. I don't know if you guys remember Living Color, but it was like,
I know what it's about. I never watched it.
So in Living Color was a comedy show that had Jim Carrey. Jennifer Lopez was a dancer.
Oh, yeah.
The Wayans brothers, like all these people that became super famous actors. They were just like nobodies on the show, right? But they were super talented, and they were all creative. And that show was like their start to be big. Like obviously we all know J-Lo, right? She was a dancer on the show, like a fly girl, right?
Yeah.
We all know Jim Carrey. He was my favorite actor in the 90s growing up, right? You know, Tommy Davidson, all these people just became huge from this. So I see this as the springboard for all of us to just, this is where we're going to become known and famous and learn. And we're not doing this. I'm not doing this to be famous, at least. I'm doing this to inspire. But that's just going to be a byproduct of it, right? And, you know, and I see your photography exploding from this. I see your documentaries exploding from this. And whoever's part of this, the Bliss Nation, the Bliss Seekers, this is going to be your springboard. We're going to create a family. We're going to create a movement. We're going to be the #1 podcast in the world. And that's kind of my vision. I know you have photography and other things. So why don't you talk real briefly, Joe, about what you want to do, and then we'll talk with you, Hatem, and then we'll close it out real quick.
Well, philanthropy work
Yes.
is definitely a big thing for me. You know, I've been thinking about lately is like, I just want to help people. Like, I want to obviously support myself, support my family, support my relatives in the Philippines, and help other people all over the world. I want that power. That's the type of power I want. And I don't care about the fame, obviously, but I just want to be able to help people all over the world in any way I can. You know, that's pretty much my biggest vision, being in this podcast.
So a huge philanthropist. And by the way, Mr. Beast is the one that's paving the way for content creators to be viral philanthropists. All he does is give money away. And that's another thing that the Bliss Seekers want to do. We want to be viral philanthropists. We want to help people. We're going to start with our own family and friends. And then eventually we're going to help others in need in other countries, right?
Yeah. And also, like, I realize I do have things, and I'm pretty fortunate my living situation, all that. And like, you know, it makes me think about other people who are less fortunate. You know, I just want to be able to help them. And also with photography, one of my biggest plans is to have an art show, and most of the benefits will go to some kind of charity or something like that.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'll start my own foundation.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
there you go. And you're definitely very compassionate, and I'm happy that you're, you know, my partner in crime here, because that's one thing that I need to work on, is having compassion.
You are compassionate, Isaac.
I need to get a lot better. I've heard that I'm not compassionate, but Hatem, I know you have a big vision as well and a big dream, and tell us about that.
So my dream or my goal, like, is Amor y Luz.
Amor y Luz.
Amor y Luz.
So love and light. and I had like experienced different dimensions.
Yeah.
And I know like I want to be like just love and light in this dimension. And that's what I'm gonna take with me. So doesn't matter like how I gonna achieve that. So the podcast is gonna be part of it. Like we are inspiring, we are helping, we are being like the love and light here. And also like my passion for like photography and like making documentaries. So I'm gonna be making a lot of documentaries. And like Isaac, I see like recently you watching a lot of documentaries, like, and you see like the value of the documentary. Like it's just
100%.
amazing, like eye-opening.
Yeah.
And I want to be part of that, making like really like amazing documentaries.
Yeah, you know, you said it best, actually. I never realized that. And you make me realize a lot of things, but documentaries are powerful.
Yeah.
Like, they help people wake up.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, What the Health is probably the main reason I went plant-based.
Vegucated. Remember that?
Vegucated, Cowspiracy. I can't even watch the ones that show animal cruelty, you know what I mean? And then the new documentary, Kiss the Ground, with Woody Harrelson, that was eye-opening. Because eventually, another part of the vision is we have our own self-sustaining city. It's a plant-based city where we have the type of farming that they talk about in Kiss the Ground that helps stop climate change and save the world. And, you know, but you're right, Hatem, like documentaries wake people up.
Yeah, so like the goal is just love and light, and then there's so many ways to achieve that, like to spread love and light. There's so many ways, and maybe right now we don't know exactly what we want to be doing. Like we have the goal, the vision, but like there's so many ways to help.
I agree.
So many ways, you know, like to like be light.
Yeah. And, you know, we're taking action. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, like Dionn was talking to me about a business plan. She's like, do you have a business plan? I'm like, no. Honestly, Dionn, I just got started. I'm like, everything will you know, fall into place. But maybe it's going to be Amor y Luz Productions or Love and Light Productions.
Yes.
That, my gosh.
So that could be beautiful. Like non-profit organization. Maybe you're gonna be doing like, as you said, like just our own farms or like community,
our own
like,
ayahuasca retreat centers.
And so a lot of things, just like the main goal, like love and light.
Love and light.
Love and light, or Amor y Luz if you speak Spanish. Well, guys, I honestly think this was an amazing podcast.
Me too.
You know, in the beginning we were like, what did we talk about? I said, let's just have a conversation. We took some notes, and we're like, and next thing you know, 2 hours later, here we are. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. Anything you guys want to leave the audience with before we go?
I just want to say that, you know, I'm honestly really grateful that you reach out to me. I was, you know, when I was in my room, I was just like thinking there has to be better than this.
Really?
I was like, you know, I manifested you to reach out to me with the vision, because when you told me about the vision, I was like, yes.
Wow.
You know, all I can think was like, yes, this is the one. Like and we've been consistent ever since. And I'm really grateful for, you know, all the support from everyone so far. At the end of the day, I just want to help people, and you know, that's what we're doing, inspiring people, helping people, and we will find creative ways. And being consistent. If you guys are like, you know, like on the fence about a lot of things, you just have to listen to yourself. Like, is this the right move? Is this what you want to do? Really listen to yourself. So
yeah, because you cannot fail in your purpose.
Exactly.
Hatem, any last parting thoughts?
Yeah, just you know, I have the experience to leave my body and be like in different dimension.
Me too. Yeah.
I was like laughing at my human experience, and when I told you the story and then you asked me, I was thinking like, I'm not coming back to this, you know, dimension. I'm gone. And then you asked me like, why did you come back? And I told you, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Exactly.
So I came here for a purpose, and I want to be just the light, which like, if you are the light in this dimension, you're going to take it with you to the other dimension.
Wow. That's
After
awesome.
you die, like you're going to take the light with you.
Wow.
So.
That's awesome, guys. So, yeah, you know, I don't think it could end on a better note. And, you know, like I said, like we have a big vision, we have a big purpose. And what Hatem was talking about was we both had out-of-body experiences, and I asked him, I said, if it was so awesome, why did we come back? And then something came to me, he said, because we're not done yet. And I was like, oh, okay. So we're not done yet, guys. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started. This will be the #1 podcast in the world. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always,
Follow your bliss.
Amore luz.